Good morning, students.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, so we will continue with our yesterday's discussion. Okay, 7 steps we were talking about. No, 7 steps of statistical hypothesis testing, in which we did 3 steps, which are the most important steps. Okay, the first one was of setting the null hypothesis. I'm just giving you a quick recap of yesterday's class. In null hypothesis, you have to go with your guess that you will be able to make after doing the literature reviews. Okay, so after you have a guess, after you have a guess about the result of your present research, then you can state the null hypothesis. How will you state? You will state it just in the opposite way, in the opposite way of your guesswork, which you can do after after doing literature review. So the null hypothesis will be just the opposite of the guess that you will be making. Okay, then we state the alternative hypothesis. So once we have the null hypothesis with us, we can also state the alternative hypothesis. How will we state? It will just be the reverse of the null hypothesis. So it was according to a philosopher named Karl Popper that we follow the principle of falsification. We just don't go directly prove something, rather we prove the negative to be the wrong one, and this way we come to the proof of the true of the right one. Okay, that is why in the null hypothesis we state the reverse of our guess of the assumption that we will be able to make up the literature review. I hope you all have done the literature review by now, because this is, by this time you should be able to finish the entire literature review. Okay, those who are attending classes regularly, those who are following the rules, I think they have done, or they are doing. Probably within 1 or 2 days it will be done, I know. So by now you should be able to do the literature review, because once you do the literature review, then only you will be able to set the hypothesis and start your research. Okay, so doing the literature review is very important. Only after that you will be able to write the introduction part, and also you will be able to state the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Okay, okay,
Excuse
so
me,
where
ma'am.
was I? Yes.
Ma'am, since the exam date has been fixed on like 26th of June,
26th, yes.
yeah, so when are we supposed to submit this project?
It will be given from the department. Think it to be the during the beginning of June, second week, maximum second week of June.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So by now you should finish 1 or 2 chapters. Hmm. Have you all contacted with your respective guides? Those who are present right now in the class, have you all contacted with your respective guides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just go according to the words of your guides. Okay, whatever they say, you just go. To my students, a few of you are present also right now. I told to finish the literature review by last week, and once you finish that, please send it to me. Okay, so that I can see. Okay, I'll have a word with you in the WhatsApp group. Okay. All right. So, where was I? Yes, I was in Karl Popper philosophy. It is something like we don't uh, prove the right thing directly. Rather, we prove the wrong thing to be incorrect. It's like that. Okay. So, null hypothesis, we set it in just the reverse of our guesswork, and the alternative hypothesis, again we set it as the reverse of the null hypothesis. Okay, then sorry, then we did setting up of the level of significance, right? Now when you are taking the level of significance to be 0.05, then it means you are having 95% of confidence that your answer is correct, and if you are selecting 0.01, then it is 99% confidence level that you are having that your answer is correct. Okay, Generally 99% is always better than 95%, but in reality we cannot be 99% sure. Okay, that is why we go with 95%. And where we use this level of significance, you will get to know once we start doing the problems. Probably from Monday we will start doing the problems. Okay, because tomorrow you're having holiday, and on Saturday you just do your project work. Okay, so where was I? Yes, I was telling that in reality it is very much difficult to be 99%, that is almost 100%, right, to be assured that your answer is correct. That is why, following the reality factor, we go with 95%, and we say 95% confidence level or confidence limit, like that we say. And 0.05 is the level of significance or the value of alpha. Okay, in some problems it will be given whether you should go with 95% or 99%. Then accordingly we need to follow and see the table. There will be some tables which will be shown. I think this was done in your previous semester also, because I saw it is there in your syllabus. T test and Z tests are there in your syllabus, were there. So I don't know how far you have learned, but I will teach you again how to see the table and then see whether your null hypothesis is to be accepted or rejected. Okay, and for seeing the table, this requirement of this alpha is important. We need to know the alpha. In some problems it will be given to you whether it is 95% confidence level or 99% confidence level. If it is not given in the problem, then you should go with 95%. Okay, now once we have our alternative hypothesis, null hypothesis, and this decision regarding the level of significance, the very next step is should be collection of data. Can you relate this now? You have to do the literature review first. After doing literature review, you can write the introduction part. And once you write the introduction part, in there you also have to write the hypothesis. And once you are done with the writing of hypothesis, the very next step should be collection of data. Okay, collection of data. And that is all, that can also be understood in this 7th step of hypothesis testing. You need to relate everything. Okay, once you know your hypothesis, once you have your guesswork, and that guesswork comes from your literature review. By now all of you have your topic with you, so I'm not talking about the very first step, which is identification of problem and selecting the topic. You have already done that, right? Now after this, the very next step should be conduction of the literature review. Okay, and soon after doing literature review, you will have your guesswork regarding your result of your study. And once you have that guess or the assumption regarding the result of your study, what is that? Again, I'm giving you one recap. Again, I'm telling you many times so that it goes into your brain directly. What is that guesswork? It is the assumption regarding the result of your research. So once you select a topic and do the literature review, from the previous results, you can have some idea that what result you are going to get. That is the guesswork. Okay. So once you have that, then you can write the null hypothesis statement. And as you write the null hypothesis, you can also write the alternative hypothesis. Then you select the level of significance, which will be probably 95%. And soon after this, you should start collecting the data, which is going to take minimum 1 week of time. Okay. Select respondents from whom you can get quick data, who will respond to you. Select some known respondents. Do you get my point? Select some known respondents so that from them you can get the data. Sample size should be minimum 25. Okay, should be minimum 25. If it is 25, then we can apply one test. If it is more than 30, then we can apply some other set of tests. T-test and Z-test. If I assume that you have done T-test and Z-test, then I can tell you that if the sample size, that is the number of respondent, is less than 30, then you should apply T-test. And if the number of respondent is more than 30, then you should apply Z-test, like that. Okay. Then there are other high level tests also that I'll teach you, then you decide which one you want to do. Okay, now you collect the data. So as I told you that, remember the importance of recognizing whether data is collected through experimental design or observational. So if it is experimental design, no, then you will have to select two set of data. I'll teach you what is the meaning of experimental design also. But for now you understand, if it is observational study, then you need to just go to your subject area, the area which you have selected, and just observe things, observe people, observe behavior of the people, observe behavior of the environment. Okay, just go and observe. If it is not so, if you are collecting data directly from respondents by talking or by through questionnaire, then you need to create some Google forms or something like that, because it is for in this pandemic time it is not possible to go to each of the respondents and collect data. So better is you create Google forms and then send it to the selected respondents and ask them to fill up the Google form, so that you have your data. That is also going to take time, my dear all. So please start working on your research work. Preparing the questionnaire is also going to take some time. Okay, and that is the very ultimate process, because according to your questionnaire only you are going to have your data, and that data is going to help you in your research work. So preparing the questionnaire methodically and after very much understanding, only then you can collect proper data for your study. Okay, so collect data, fourth step. The fifth step is calculate a test statistic. What is this test statistic? These are the statistic of T test, whether you want to follow, Z test if you want to follow. If you want to follow ANOVA, then you need to have F statistic. Then if you want to follow chi-square, you need to have chi-square value. Okay, so it depends on the type of test you want to apply. Again, that depends on the type of data you have collected. Okay, so once you decide on the test, then you need there are several formula related to the several tests. Okay, you need to select the best formula and then apply it in your calculation of test statistic. Okay, so fifth step will go with calculation of the test statistic. This portion is completely numerical. You can do it in Excel for your research work. I'll show you once that how to do it in Excel, and for your examination purpose you have to learn it manually. Okay, then now step 6 is construct the acceptance or rejection regions. The sixth step is construct the acceptance or rejection region. Okay, so what is it? As with all other test statistics, a threshold or a critical value of F is established. Here in this site, the example of F statistic has been taken. This F statistic is applicable for ANOVA test. Okay, but for Z test it will be Z statistic, and for T test it will be T statistic. Okay, since here the F statistic example has been considered, so we are writing F statistic. So as with all other test statistics, a critical value of F is established. The F value can be obtained from statistical tables and is referred to as F critical or F alpha. Now see, the thing is what you will have one formula for calculating this F value, and also you will have a table where you can see the critical or the tabulated values of F. Okay, so you will have two values. One is for your calculated one and one will be for tabulated value. Then you need to compare these two values, your calculated value and for the given information your tabulated value. There is a way to see the tables. I'll teach you all those things. So you will have to compare the tabulated value and the calculated value. This critical value, that is the tabulated value, is the minimum value for the test statistic. for us to be able to reject the null or accept the null. Now, if our calculated value is less than the tabulated value, then only we accept the null hypothesis. And if this calculated value is more than the tabulated value, then we reject the null hypothesis. Okay. Now this F distribution or F alpha and the location of acceptance or rejection region are shown in the graph below. See this graph? In this graph, this red portion, this is the portion where this red area is starting. Till this much, you can accept the null hypothesis. Say this is the area, or this is the portion, or this is the point where our tabulated value of F is falling, or the critical value of F, or whatever statistic you are following, that value is falling here. Okay, so till this value only you can accept the null hypothesis. If this your calculated value is surpassing this point, that means it is going to the red portion, then you need to reject the null hypothesis. Do you understand? If mathematically I say, if the calculated value is less or equals to the tabulated value of the test statistic for the given information, degrees of freedom and other things will be given to you, level of significance will be given. So given information, if the value of the calculated statistic is falling under this region, that is under this zone where the value of the tabulated F or critical F is falling, then only you can accept the null hypothesis. If it is falling beyond this region, on the right side of this region, that is, it is more than the tabulated value, then you need to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, do you understand? Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Simply, you can note somewhere also, if the calculated value of the test statistic is less than the tabulated value of the test statistic, then only accept null hypothesis. Otherwise, reject the null hypothesis. Okay. Any question till now? Please tell me. Any question? Any doubt? Any doubt till now, or you have understood everything?
No doubts, ma'am.
Okay. Then depending on the steps 5 and 6, the step 7 will come. Okay. You have a test statistic value, that is the value of Z or T or F, whatever, or chi-square, whatever you have calculated. You will have the value. You will have the value of the test statistic, and also you can draw the diagram, or simply you can write that since the value of the calculated test statistic is less than tabulated, so accept it. If it is more, so reject it. Okay, then you need to draw the conclusion based on these two steps. Now see, if the F calculated, okay, calculated means using the formula, the F which you calculate from the data is larger than the F critical, then you are in the rejection region, and you can reject the null hypothesis with 1 minus alpha level of significance. 1 minus alpha means 1 minus 0.05, that is 0.95. That means 95% level of confidence. Okay, so you can reject the null hypothesis and say that your answer is 95% correct if you are following 0.05 level of significance. Okay, if alpha is 0.05, then 95% you are confirmed that your answer is correct. Okay, Then note that the modern statistical software condenses steps 6 and 7 by providing the p-value. I will show you this, okay, in the I will show you Excel only, okay. I'll not show you SPSS or any other software because that is not required at this level. So I'll just show you how to do it in Excel. That is also a software, right? Now this software will not provide you any tabulated value or anything. The software will provide you a p-value. This p-value here is the probability of getting the f calculated even greater than what you observe. If by chance the f calculated is just equals to the f critical, that is tabulated, then the p-value will exactly be equal to the alpha. With larger f calculated values, we move further into the rejection region and the p-value becomes less than alpha. So the decision rule is as follows. If the p-value obtained from the ANOVA is less than alpha, that is 0.05, then reject H naught and accept HA. Now see, no need to read this second paragraph, okay. Second paragraph you will understand if I show you the Excel calculation, okay. So for now skip this second paragraph. Look at the third line, third paragraph, single line. It is said if the p-value is less than alpha, alpha means 0.05, okay. Listen to me carefully. If the p-value is less than alpha, then reject H naught. And in our previous step, what I told you, that if the calculated value of the test statistic is less than the tabulated value, then accept H naught. Don't confuse, okay. And here in software calculation, if the p-value will be given by the software, you don't have to calculate it, okay. It's very easy to get. So if the p-value is less than the alpha, alpha means what? 0.05. So if the p-value is less than 0.05, then you reject H naught and accept the alternative hypothesis, which is the less than case if calculated value of the test statistic, that is f or z or t whatever, is less than the tabulated value of the test statistic, then you accept the null hypothesis and reject the alternative hypothesis. Whereas in the software calculation, if p-value is less than alpha, that is 0.05, then you reject null hypothesis and you accept the alternative hypothesis. Do you understand? You can write somewhere. If you are really interested in this study, you can write somewhere, okay? Okay, now is it clear? Tell me, please tell me. If you have any question, please tell me. Any doubt? If you're writing, then any doubt, please tell me. Any doubt? Have you understood what I'm trying to say? P-value will come in software calculation. And this, if this p-value is less than your alpha, that is 0.05, then what? You accept or reject? Tell me. You accept or reject null hypothesis? Tell me. If p-value is less than alpha, that is 0.05, what you do? Tell me. Tell me. All are sleeping. What did I say? Tell me. If p-value is less than 0.05, then you accept or reject?
Reject.
What? What you reject?
Reject the hypothesis.
Null or alternative?
Null.
Null.
Null, yes. We always decide about the null, okay? Then the reverse happens with the alternative. If we accept null, we reject alternative. If we reject null, we accept alternative. It's like that, okay? All right. I think it will be clear if we do the sums. From Monday, and we will do the sums. Okay. And the sampling, how the samples are collected and all that, we'll do it after the problems. Okay. First, we will cover up all the problems. Then we will do that part. Okay. Now, please respond. Ayush Pradhan,
Present, ma'am.
Abhishek, Ankita, Argho, Ayush
Present, ma'am.
Charasia, Ayush Charasia, Vikram,
Present, ma'am.
Deepa,
Present, ma'am.
Devesh, Diksha, Isha, Hemant, Jasmeet, Landu, Tema, Pulamu,
Present, ma'am.
Pooja, Prajwal, Praraj, Prashant, Pratiksha,
Yes, ma'am.
Prayas,
Present, ma'am.
Rajkumar, Rajeshwari,
Present, ma'am.
Ronak, Reena, Ritik, Sahil, Sejal, Sheetal, Shruti,
Present, ma'am.
Shruti, Shubham, Sparsh, Drishti, Swikar,
Present, ma'am.
Valusha, Wangchu, Yogesh, Yanthen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Attendance is given. You can leave the class. And please finish your literature review. Bye bye.